Hi, this is the OG art teacher, and I am going to show you how to do a color wheel using the three primary colors, which are red, yellow, and blue. And this color wheel will be done using colored pencils. You can do color wheels with any type of materials, such as crayons, paint, acrylic paint, watercolor, oil paint, pretty much anything that has red, yellow, and blue, and you can create all of the colors. Red, yellow, and blue are primary colors, which I call color number one because they cannot be made by any other colors. So, like, you cannot mix two colors or three colors together to get red, yellow, or blue. So, if you're doing this alongside with me, then you'll want to be pausing every so often because I'm going to try to make this video not super long. Um, you'll need a red, yellow, and blue colored pencil and a regular pencil. I like to label stuff, so at the top I'm writing color wheel. And then I'm going to do a little chart, primary, secondary, and tertiary. So primary I call 1, and this may be done elsewhere. Secondary is 2, and tertiary is 3. So primary cannot be mixed, cannot be mixed. So it's number 1. Secondary is a primary plus a primary. So 1 plus 1 equals 2. The tertiary is a primary with a secondary, which equals 1 plus 2 equals 3. So the primary colors, red, yellow, blue, red, rojo, yellow, amarillo, blue, azul. I'm not going to label the other ones because then I won't have very much space. Then I'm drawing a line across. So now to do the actual color wheel. So if you're following along, draw one circle that is about the size of a quarter, and then give it 2 longish legs. And we're basically making a triangle. So at the ends of the legs, draw 2 circles and then connect those 2 circles. So this solid line connects all of the primary colors. So then in between each primary color, we're going to have a square. You can do any shape that you want. Really, it's just to differentiate. And these squares are going to be connected with dotted lines as an upside down triangle. These are going to be our secondary colors. And then for our tertiary colors, to finish off the color wheel, we're going to draw arcs connecting the circles and the squares or rectangles or whatever you've chosen to draw. So it might be helpful now to go in and label. So our primaries are going to be 1s, Our secondaries are going to be 1 plus 1 equals 2. 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1 equals 2. So they'll be in between. And then our tertiaries, 2 plus 1 equals 3. So be basically a pattern of 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1. That's a lot of numbers. Okay, so in 1, we're going to color the primaries. So I usually like to start with red at the top. It's okay if you choose to do a different primary in there, but make sure that you are mixing whichever 2 primaries you put into the secondary. So red, I like to color in a circular motion because it helps to cover the space better. And since we're not going to be layering color, it's totally fine to push down really hard when you're coloring. But in the secondary and tertiaries, we're going to be changing the pressure of the colored pencil so that we can layer and mix. It would be pretty hard to mix into these 3 circles because I've basically filled the paper with the pencil, with the pigment, which is the color inside the pencil. So now I'm going to add yellow and red together. And I'm going to start with the yellow because yellow is lighter than red, and red is a very passionate and bright color and will take over the yellow very easily. So, but really either way is fine. So using light pressure is going to help a lot in the mixing process, which is just basically where you leave less of the pencil pigment on the paper. You lift up your hand and don't push down as hard. So right now it just kind of looks like, to me, like from what I'm looking at, it just looks like I put red on top of yellow, which is pretty much accurate. So I'm going in and blending in some more yellow, and it's not quite orange enough for me. So I'm gonna add some more red, and on screen it looks pretty good. So I'm going to now put in my secondary list a red dot and a yellow dot equal a yellow dot with a red dot together. So with my pencil, I'm going to do red plus yellow equals orange. And then next we have blue and yellow. And those are going to make a very beautiful color. This time I'm going to start with the darker one and just press down really, really, really lightly. That way I won't like saturate the paper. Color mixing is a lot easier with paint. You can get nicer colors, but colored pencils are something that a lot of people have around. And what's cool about making your own color wheel is that you can, as long as you have red, yellow, and blue, you can make all the other colors. You don't need a big box of colored pencils or crayons, but you'll probably want a black and maybe a white, but white doesn't mix in very well with colored pencils. So black makes your colors darker, and that's called like a shade or a tone. And white makes colors lighter, which is a tint. So that's how you get like Easter egg colors or pastels. So I've got a pretty decent green going here, and I'm going to use that yellow to blend it a little better. And up at the top, I'm going to do, just because of the order, I'm going to use yellow first, and then blue, and then This time I'm going to do yellow first and blue on top, just to show you that it doesn't really matter. It's personal choice. So yellow plus blue equals green. And I'm going to take a moment to sharpen. I think I have something stuck in this one, so I'm going to have to make a loud noise. May as well do them all. Okay, so now I'm going to be using blue and red added together to make the secondary color. And I'm going to use red. It's really a matter of choice. Like, as long as you're using very little pressure to put the color down and you're doing the layers, you'll be able to achieve the color mixing situation. Purple is really hard to make. It's probably gonna look brown on the screen. When I'm doing paintings or coloring or other stuff, I usually just go ahead and buy purple. I have not been able to easily make the shade of purple that I like, but there are other people out there who are absolutely able to make purple. To me, this just looks like blue and red on top of each other, and it doesn't really look very purpley. It's starting to change a little bit and like kind of look purple, but it's more about like my eyes are being tricked into thinking that this is purple. So sort of purple, sort of not. And since I have red, yellow, I'm going to put blue and then red, and then start with red and add blue to get sort of a purple. So blue plus red equals purple. And now for the tertiaries. And if you'll remember, a primary, which is 1, plus a secondary, which is 2, equals 3. 1 plus 2 equals 3. So this color is going to be more reddish because it's in between the red and the orange. So I'm going to go ahead and do a light coat of red. And like I said before, it helps to color in a circular motion, but I don't always follow that rule. I just kind of color however I want and try to fill it in so that the white is covered, the white of the paper. And now I'm going to go in and press down harder with the yellow. And since I started with the red, it appears to be darker than my orange, but it kind of looks the same still. So I'm going to add a little, like, if I put too much red on top, it's going to look just like the red. Because like I said, the red is a very passionate color and can overwhelm very easily. So if you're using paint, you would use like a blob of yellow and a tiny, tiny dot of red on your brush to make orange. And you would use like maybe 2 tiny dots to make red orange. So on screen, I think it looks pretty much the same as my red, but in person, it's a little different. For red or for yellow orange, I guess actually, so at the tertiary, my primary is, and I'm leaving room because there's more tertiaries than there are secondaries and primaries. So red and then orange. So red plus orange equals red orange. And what's great about the tertiaries is that they are all named the combination of the colors. So this is red, orange. I guess it's not very like creative when it comes to naming the colors. Since yellow is going to be the primary for the combination of yellow and orange, I'm going to start with yellow and then very lightly add my red. I'm using I have a like the tip of the pencil and then like sort of a flat diagonal, and I'm using the flat diagonal part of the tip of the pencil to shade with. The tip will make it very line-y, and it won't blend well. So on top of that, I am coloring with a lot of pressure my yellow pencil, and it looks a little similar to my orange. So I'm just gonna go in and try to differentiate just a little bit. So this is gonna be yellow plus orange equals, I guess I should start with the red very lightly. Yellow, orange. And that looks darker. So I'm gonna go add some red in here. And some in here, so that looks similar. And that is called yellow, orange. The next one is going to be a combination of primary color yellow and secondary color green. And I'm going to start with yellow since that's the primary color and it's lighter than, we're trying to get a shade lighter than the green that we have in the middle. So like middle pressure yellow and then low light pressure with blue, because you don't want it to look exactly the same as what you have in the middle. You're going for more of a yellow in this area, and hard yellow on top to help blend. By hard I mean like pressure, push down hard. And up here I'm going to do, let's see, I guess it doesn't, I kind of messed up the color order here, but green, just to make it look different, plus yellow equals yellow green. If you've ever had difficulty sharpening your pencils or your colored pencils, like having the lead fall out and stuff like that, dropping them on the table or on the floor or using the pencils like drumsticks will break the pigment or the like lead. There's no lead in a colored pencil, but it'll break it on the inside, and so the tip will fall out or be like, I don't know, it's softer than a regular pencil. And this happens in pencils as well, but these colored pencils are very soft. Prismacolor is way softer than Crayola, and they break a lot more often, but they have a richer color. So anyway, moving on. So we have our secondary green and our primary blue. And this time we're going for more of a bluish green. So I'm gonna start out with blue this time, since it's gonna be in the majority here. And put more pressure with the yellow. So I colored kind of lightly with the blue because I'm gonna do another layer of blue on top. And now I have something similar to the green that's in the middle. And I'm gonna just kind of lightly, if I push down too hard with the blue, it might just become like a really kind of dark, closer to blue color, and I want it to look green. So I am finding that pushing down is fine, because you do want it to look different than what's in the middle. And then up here, we're gonna do green plus blue equals blue, green, and I'll make that darker. Okay, so now we're gonna add blue primary to purple secondary to get blue violet. Purple has two names. It has the name of purple and of violet. You may have heard the abbreviation Roy G. Biv. That's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And that is from it's the color spectrum like of light. So if you have a white light that shines through, then you get that rainbow with red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And this is sort of indigo. It's indigo is between purple and blue in order, but also in shade. So it's not quite blue, it's not quite purple. It's a very nice color. So I'm gonna go ahead and just like leave that the way it is and add a little bit more red to it. So it's just like a, darker version of the mixture of red and blue there. So I'm gonna do blue plus, since blue is in all of them, I'm just gonna do blue all the way across. And then blue plus purple or violet equals blue violet. So I'm gonna do red and then blue again on top. A little darker. Plus and equals. And then the last one is red violet. And so I'm going to start with red since that's going to be the main color that we're trying to achieve here. Red and then a low pressure blue and then a high pressure red on top to get that red violet feel. So like I said before, it's easier to just buy purple, but the benefit of having it this way is that you can, instead of like getting a big expensive package of like not a million because you can't get a million colors, you can get like nice paint or nice colored pencils and buy fewer colors because it's really easy to make almost all of the colors except for purple. And so if you're on a budget, which a lot of artists are, you don't have to have like 20 different colors. You can have these three plus white and black. And then you can make tons of colors. I typically do also buy orange because I can't always get the orange that I want. But as I say this, like my watercolor trays have every color, you know, and I have several. I have about 3 watercolor trays, and so, you know, I mean, I use every color, but um, I'm an established artist, an art teacher, and this is like stuff I've collected over a really long time. But for people that are just starting out, it might be easier not to have all that stuff. Less fun, yes, maybe, but cheaper. So we have yellow green as our tertiary here, blue green, and then I'm just gonna do it on here. Blue, violet. I would have preferred to do it on the outside, but, and then I don't need to label purple, but it is purple or violet. And then red, violet, and that completes that list. And you have your color wheel. So the color wheels that, not sure if I showed this at the beginning, but like you might see in an art classroom would be like this. And I always like saw those and thought they were really pretty, but I didn't understand that it's not just like a rainbow circle thing. It shows you how to make the colors. So like on a color wheel like this, like you add red to orange and you get red orange. You add orange to yellow and you get yellow orange. But you don't add yellow orange to yellow green to get yellow. So it's kind of confusing if you don't know what is happening. So the color wheel is a great tool, but it's a tool that is only useful if you know like what it does and how to do it. And that's it for now. I hope that I've not taken a super long time, but hopefully now you can work with color. I did not know how to do this when I got to college, and it was very embarrassing when I didn't, you know, I started drawing one and didn't know what the primary colors were. Everybody else did, but I didn't. So anyway, now you do, and I hope that you have fun with your coloring. I'll be doing other tutorials using watercolor, using acrylic, and using crayon. Thank you very much.